They had it all: fame, fortune, and the adoration of millions. But somewhere along the way, the script flipped. The red carpets, flashing cameras, and million-dollar paychecks gave way to mugshots, courtroom drama, and cold, unforgiving prison cells. Once the heroes of the silver screen, these fallen stars now play the ultimate role villains in their own real-life tragedies. From dazzling premieres to life behind bars, we're diving deep into the shocking downfalls of Hollywood's once brightest icons. Take a moment to relax, grab your favorite cup of tea or coffee, and enjoy this video with us. He landed small roles, even appearing in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and for a brief moment, it seemed like bigger opportunities were just around the corner. But behind the scenes, DeLeon was battling something far darker than the struggles of an aspiring actor. His temper flared, his actions became erratic, and whispers of instability surrounded him. While the world saw a rising star, those close to him saw a ticking time bomb. By 2004, Donovan had drifted away from his Hollywood dreams, accumulating a criminal record and drifting to the fringes of society. Then his spiral took a horrifying turn. During a botched robbery, he committed the unthinkable, killing an innocent couple, throwing them 3,500 feet into the ocean. The trial that followed was an unbelievable spectacle. Gone was the hopeful young actor. In his place was a man out of touch with reality, trying to come up with flimsy excuses that the jury didn't buy. Now, years later, Skylar Julius DeLeon sits on death row, a stark reminder of wasted potential and a life that veered off course in the worst possible way. Was it unchecked mental illness? A descent into madness? A tragedy that could have been prevented? Whatever the case, the bright-eyed dreamer who once hoped to conquer Hollywood is now trapped in a far darker script, one he wrote himself, with no chance for a rewrite. In May 2014, Jace shot his wife, April, in their Los Angeles home. In court, Jace admitted that he had no excuse for his actions and apologized to his family while awaiting sentencing. But remorse didn't change the outcome: 15 years to life for second-degree murder, plus an additional 25 years for gun use. In a taped interview, Jace confessed that he had initially intended to shoot himself, but then changed his mind, deciding instead to make his wife feel the pain. His 10-year-old son, a key witness, recalled hearing his father say, "If you want to run, run to heaven," before firing the fatal shot. The defense argued for involuntary manslaughter, claiming Jace had acted in a fit of rage, but prosecutors painted a darker picture, one fueled by anger over his divorce and suspicions of infidelity, although no evidence of adultery was presented. Once a recognizable face in Hollywood with roles in Planet of the Apes, Boogie Nights, and Forrest Gump, Jace is now just another inmate, his career and legacy forever overshadowed by a single night of rage. From playing law enforcement to being locked away by it, his story is a sobering reminder that reality doesn't come with a script rewrite. Joseph Sun, once known for playing the henchman Random Task in Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery, is now infamous for far darker reasons. At 46, he showed no emotion as he received the maximum 27-year sentence for voluntary manslaughter, sealing his fate behind bars. This comes after his 2011 conviction for the brutal kidnapping and torture of a woman in 1990, a crime uncovered decades later through DNA evidence. His latest conviction stems from the 2011 death of his cellmate, Michael Graham, a convicted sex offender. Prison staff found Graham unresponsive, with reports indicating that Sun, a former mixed martial artist, had beaten him to death. His defense argued Graham instigated the altercation, but the jury still found Sun guilty of manslaughter. Before his crimes came to light, Sun's acting career was brief and unremarkable. He later admitted his past actions were the worst decision of his life, but no words could undo the damage. With a history of violence and 2 major convictions, Joseph Sun's name is now synonymous with horror, not Hollywood. Once a reality TV star on 19 Kids and Counting, Josh Duggar is now serving 12.5 years in prison for possessing child sexual abuse material. His release, initially set for August 2032, was recently pushed to October, reportedly due to a contraband phone incident. Prosecutors revealed Duggar had downloaded over 600 illegal images, with his past resurfacing having molested 5 young girls, including 4 of his sisters. A victim's mother condemned the lasting harm he caused, further exposing his disturbing history. Despite his conviction, Duggar maintains his innocence and is actively appealing. His downfall remains a chilling reminder that behind reality TV's polished image, dark secrets can lurk. Danny Masterson was once a household name, best known for his role as the rebellious Stephen Hyde on That 70s Show. With a successful TV career and Hollywood connections, his future seemed secure. But behind the scenes, a much darker story was unfolding. In the mid-2010s, multiple women came forward with disturbing allegations of sexual assault against him, sending shockwaves through the industry and bringing his career to a sudden halt. In June 2020, Masterson was arrested and charged with 3 counts of sexual assault. The severity of the accusations, combined with the intense legal battle that followed, shattered his professional standing. His talent agency dropped him, his projects disappeared, and the once-beloved sitcom star became Hollywood's latest cautionary tale. Now, at 47, Masterson's legal troubles remain at the center of public scrutiny. His case continues to unfold, keeping both the entertainment industry and audiences on edge. Whatever the final verdict, one thing is certain: his fall from grace is as dramatic as any Hollywood script, but this time, there's no comeback in sight. If you like this video, leave a 1 in the comments, otherwise let me know with a 0. I really appreciate your feedback. Zach Avery wasn't exactly a household name. He wasn't the most famous, the most talented, or even the most recognizable face in Hollywood. But what he lacked in star power, he made up for in ambition and a dangerous talent for deception. From 2014 to 2019, Avery didn't just act in movies, he acted his way into millions, convincing hundreds of investors, including his own friends and family, to hand over their money for what he claimed were lucrative film deals. The pitch was perfect. He spun a dazzling story about buying movie rights and licensing them to streaming giants like Netflix and HBO. Sounds like a dream investment, right? There was just one problem. It was all fake. No deals, no contracts, just a classic Ponzi scheme where new investors' money paid off the old ones. And for a while, it worked. Avery lived the high life, spending millions while his victims believed they were part of Hollywood's next big thing. But as with all good thrillers, the truth eventually caught up. The FBI uncovered the fraud, and Avery's Hollywood fantasy came crashing down. Sentenced to 20 years in prison, he was also ordered to pay back a jaw-dropping $230 million. A tragic ending for a man who dreamed of making it big, just not behind bars. Zara Fithian, a martial artist and stunt performer best known for her role in Doctor Strange 2016, has been sentenced to 8 years in prison for multiple counts of sexual abuse. The shocking case revealed that her husband, Victor Mark, played a central role in the crimes, leading to his even harsher 14-year sentence. Convicted of 14 counts of sexual activity with a minor between 2005 and 2008, Fithian's past as a respected martial arts instructor in Nottinghamshire now stands in stark contrast to the disturbing reality that emerged in court. During the trial at Nottingham Crown Court, a victim recounted how she felt trapped in the abusive situation, admitting, "I knew it was wrong, but I didn't know how to get out." Mark, in addition to the same 14 counts, was also convicted of 4 counts of indecent assault on another young girl. Testimonies painted a disturbing picture of manipulation, with reports that the couple provided alcohol to their victims before coercing them into sexual acts. Despite maintaining their innocence, both were found guilty and sentenced accordingly. Fithian, once admired in the martial arts and film world, now faces a drastically different future. Her conviction sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, serving as a grim reminder that even those in the public eye can harbor dark secrets. But in a shocking turn of events, the former star athlete now faces serious federal charges linked to an alleged inappropriate relationship with a minor. According to prosecutors, Drexel met the young girl at an event in 2014 and maintained a relationship with her for years, with encounters allegedly beginning when she was still underage. The disturbing details outlined in the criminal complaint paint a troubling picture. The alleged victim claimed that Drexel invited her to his gym on her birthday in 2015, where they engaged in sexual activity after his girlfriend left. Over the next 2 years, their encounters reportedly continued in various locations across New Jersey, including parking lots and gyms. Prosecutors also alleged that Drexel frequently requested explicit video calls and possessed illicit images of the girl on an old phone, further solidifying a pattern of deeply troubling behavior. Now 36 and residing in Florida, Drexel faces multiple federal charges, including coercing a minor to travel for unlawful sexual conduct. His attorney insists he will plead not guilty, emphasizing his presumption of innocence. But the once revered Ninja Warrior champion is now awaiting transfer to New Jersey, where he'll face the toughest obstacle course of his life, one that no amount of skill or training can help him escape. But in 2010, her Hollywood dream turned into a nightmare. A drunk driving crash in New Jersey took the life of Helena Seaman, leading to Lucane's conviction for vehicular manslaughter. She served time, but the damage was done, her career was over, and her life was forever changed. After her release, she tried to rebuild, dedicating herself to advocacy and living as a model citizen. But in 2020, in a shocking legal twist, she was sent back to prison not for a new crime, but for a reevaluation of her sentence. From behind bars, she struggled to understand why she was being punished again, feeling like she was being made an example of. Her story is a chilling reminder that actions have consequences no matter how famous, talented, or well-intentioned someone may be. Fame couldn't shield her, and time couldn't erase the past. Now, as she faces the weight of her choices once again, Lucane is learning the hard truth. Second chances don't always come easy, and the road to redemption is long, unforgiving, and full of unexpected turns. Before making headlines for all the wrong reasons, she was a beauty queen and a struggling actress, landing minor roles including a brief stint as a zombie on The Walking Dead. But her real claim to fame came in the form of a scandal that seemed ripped straight from a political thriller. In the midst of a messy divorce, Shannon decided to take revenge on her husband in the most dramatic way possible by sending rice and lace letters to none other than President Barack Obama and New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg. To make matters even worse, she tried to frame her husband for the crime, calling the police with a carefully crafted story. Unfortunately for Shannon, the FBI wasn't buying it. Investigators quickly unraveled her scheme, leading to her arrest. At first, she insisted that her husband had forced her to send the letters, but as the evidence mounted, her story fell apart. Faced with the reality of a long prison sentence, Shannon struck a plea deal and was sentenced to 18 years behind bars, along with a hefty fine of over $350,000. Her projected release? November 2031. Ironically, the media frenzy surrounding her case gave her more exposure than her acting career ever did. As if the scandal wasn't shocking enough, Shannon also gave birth to a child while in custody awaiting trial, adding yet another layer of drama to her already infamous story. We really appreciate you sticking around and watching our videos. Leave a 2 in the comments to let us know you're still here with us. Once beloved as America's dad for his role on The Cosby Show, Bill Cosby now holds a much darker title, the first major celebrity of the Me Too era to be sentenced to prison. In a dramatic fall from grace, the 81-year-old was found guilty of drugging and sexually assaulting Andre Constant at his suburban Philadelphia estate in 2004. Judge Stephen O'Neill, delivering the sentence at the Montgomery County Courthouse in Norristown, Pennsylvania, declared, "It is time for justice." With that, Cosby was immediately taken into custody, led away in handcuffs as his request for bail was denied. The court emphasized the severity of his crimes, with the judge citing concerns for public safety should Cosby be released. Despite the weight of the moment, the disgraced comedian remained emotionless as the verdict was read. Later, however, reports surfaced that he was seen smiling and chatting with his defense team, a stark contrast to the gravity of his conviction. His decision to remain silent before sentencing left his victims and the public with no words of remorse, only the undeniable consequences of his actions. For decades, Cosby was a symbol of wholesome fatherhood, but that image has been irrevocably shattered. His conviction sent shockwaves through Hollywood, proving that no level of fame or fortune could shield someone from accountability. Kalen Rashad Walker, a Los Angeles rapper and actor best known for his role in Superfly, 2018, has been sentenced to 50 years to life for multiple counts of sexual assault. The 29-year-old was convicted of abusing 7 victims, a case made even more disturbing by his status as a registered sex offender since 2013. A Van Nuys jury found him guilty on multiple charges, including forcible sexual assault, abuse while victims were intoxicated, and assault with intent to commit oral copulation. Prosecutors revealed Walker used social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram to lure aspiring actors and models with false promises of music video and photo shoot opportunities. Instead, he assaulted them. His criminal history dates back to 2013, requiring him to register as a sex offender for life. Despite initial release on bond, he was rearrested after his conviction, ending any hopes of a future in Hollywood. Walker's acting career, which included a role in King's 2017, now lies in ruins. His sentencing sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, serving as a grim reminder that fame is no shield from justice. In a crime that left the world stunned, the young actor was sentenced to life in prison for the second-degree murder of his own mother, Barbara Waite. The details were beyond disturbing. On March 31, 2020, Grantham, then 24, crept up behind his 64-year-old mother as she played the piano and shot her in the back of the head. But the horror didn't stop there. Grantham filmed a chilling video, confessing to his crimes while showing his mother's lifeless body to everyone. The next day, he loaded his car with an arsenal of 3 guns, ammunition, 12 Molotov cocktails, and camping gear and hit the road with a shocking target in mind, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. But along the way, he abandoned his violent plans and instead turned himself in to Vancouver police. In court, upbeat reports revealed a deeply troubled mind. Grantham had been depressed for months, plagued by self-loathing and negative thoughts. Prosecutors argued that he killed his mother so she wouldn't have to witness the carnage he had planned. But in the end, there was no justification, just a tragic, senseless act that forever sealed his fate. Now, behind bars with no chance of parole for 14 years, Ryan Grantham's once promising future has become a haunting cautionary tale. The man behind countless Oscar-winning films became the face of the Me Too movement after dozens of women came forward with horrifying allegations of sexual assault and abuse. Already serving a 23-year sentence in New York, Weinstein was handed an additional 16-year prison term in Los Angeles after being found guilty of assaulting a European model known as Jane Doe. Through tears, she described the lasting trauma of the attack one a prison sentence could never truly erase. Weinstein's Los Angeles trial was as ugly as the accusations against him. His defense team resorted to attacking victims' credibility, even going so far as to insult actress Jennifer Siebel Newsom, the wife of California Governor Gavin Newsom, calling her a bimbo. Desperate to avoid more time behind bars, Weinstein's lawyers painted him as a frail 70-year-old in poor health, a once great Hollywood figure who had contributed so much to the industry. But he refused to admit guilt, calling the rape allegations a fabrication and pleading for leniency. For Weinstein's accusers, the sentencing was a long-awaited victory. Knowing he will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars brought a sense of justice, if not closure. Tim Norman, once a reality TV star on Welcome to Sweetie Pie's, presented himself as a devoted businessman, helping run his family's soul food empire. But beneath the charm and success lay a sinister truth. He had orchestrated the murder of his own nephew, Andre Montgomery. Motivated by greed, Norman took out a $450,000 life insurance policy on Montgomery and plotted to have him killed. The 21-year-old aspiring rapper, who had also appeared on the show, had no idea he was the target of his uncle's deadly scheme. Norman went to chilling lengths to see his plan through. He paid an exotic dancer to lure Montgomery to a street in St. Louis, where a hired gunman shot him dead in 2016. What seemed like a senseless act of street violence was, in reality, a carefully planned hit driven by money and betrayal. But Norman's attempt to cash in on the insurance policy raised red flags, and the FBI swiftly unraveled his plot. By 2021, Norman stood in court, facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire and fraud. The weight of his crimes was undeniable, and justice caught up with him. His fall from grace was as shocking as his actions, proving that even those who claim to be family aren't always what they seem. I'd love to know what you want to learn next. Share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll answer them in the next video.